Good evening, councillors. Good evening, members of the public. Welcome to this evening's Highways and General Purposes meeting on Wednesday the 1st of April 2026. It's 6 p.m. and we're in the Barn Green Room at the DCC. On to the agenda. Item 1 is apologies. To receive any apologies for absences. I've just had a personal note from Councillor Berry that he'll be running a few minutes late, so we'll note his absence at the moment and then correct it once he's present with us. Thank you. Item 2 on the agenda is declarations of interest. Arising from this agenda, members and officers are invited to declare any relevant interest. Notwithstanding this item, members may subsequently declare an interest at any point during the meeting. Do we have any declarations of interest? No. Straight on to item 3 is the minutes of the previous meeting. To receive and confirm the accuracy of the minutes of Highways and General Purposes meeting held on the 11th of February 2026. We've all had a chance to review. For those that were here, that is everyone apart from Councillor Harrison. So for those that are present, are you happy for me to sign and approve? Can I have a show of hands, please? Yes, thank you. Okay. Thank you. Thanks. Item 4 on the agenda is the Highways and General Purposes Committee Project Report. To receive and review the project report from the committee clerk.
We discussed a couple of things, didn't
we? We didn't we? Yeah. Did you want to raise any?
Has anybody got any questions on the project report?
No. So the one that we picked up on is the remaining welter plots at the burial ground and also the benches in Northfield. Committee clerk will contact the stonemason to discuss possible solutions. What was the outcome? Have we
I haven't done it because I've been off.
Okay, that's fine. And the benches in Northfield is to... Is it worth moving the benches? Okay, so the benches at the burial ground, they're kind of like an oval shape as you pull into the car park. It has been discussed previously by Councillor Brown in 2024, November, that it might be worth moving the benches to a different location. My opinion is that I'm happy with where they are. I just like Council's feeling on the position of the benches and if it's worth moving them. Councillor Ranger.
Two things. First of all, I'm quite happy where they are. But also, we've got some work going on soon with regards to the repairing of the footpath. I don't think it's worth doing anything until the footpath's been completed because there's going to be quite a lot of machinery in there anyway. If we aren't decided as to whether they should stay put or not, then we need to at least wait until the work's completed. Number one. But personally, I think they're fine where they are.
Yes. Chair, can I just update the other members of the committee that to move the benches we would need to move the big concrete slabs and it would only move them back a foot. At the time they were talking about taking the wooden stumps out to stop people parking, but...
Yeah.
I'm happy though. Is the committee happy to take that off of the project report currently?
I propose to take it off the project report and leave them where they are.
Yeah.
Okay, can I fine. Can I have a quick show of hands, all in favour to remove from the project report? That's fine. Thank you. If need be, we'll take it.
Just explain to the members of the committee. Do you want me to?
Yes, because you deal with this stuff. So Liz will just give us a quick update on the remaining welter plots in the graveyard as she deals with the...
So we haven't been using the Welters plots, the remaining ones that are empty. Those who've been on the committee for quite a while will know that because there is a problem with water getting into them, Councillor Brown was going to look into any solutions and come back with quotes, but it hasn't happened. So Martin and I talked about contacting one of the stonemasons to see if they've got any ideas about what we could do. Because there's quite a few sitting there empty. And I mean, every time we have an interment into a Welters pot, Sam and I have to go and pump it out. And they're quite often they're about that deep in water. Yeah.
Is it worth talking to anyone else other than just the stonemasons?
Well,
this is what we've thought about. If committee's happy, we can go out to other providers and ask them what they might be able to suggest to find a solution for us, because they can't just sit there and fill up water and do nothing. So we need to find a solution for them, and other people may have an idea of how we could do that. So if committee's happy, we can reach out to other suppliers. Are you happy for that, Councillor Vickers?
I'm sure there's sort of drainage experts that
someone must know.
can look at a longer term solution. I'm sure there are. This isn't just a Denmead problem, I can't imagine.
Fine. So can I have a show of hands all in favour for the clerk to contact other manufacturers or grave diggers or whatever you would call them to find a solution for the welter pots?
Yep.
That's unanimous. So Liz, happy for that?
yeah.
Thank you. Okay, item 5 on the agenda is the public participation. The meeting will recess for not more than 15 minutes to allow any members of the public to address the meeting in respect of items on this agenda. So, members of the public, this is your chance to address council if you wish to. First gentleman, state your name please if that's right for the recording.
My name's Mark Ford, and I'd like to address the item 10, where I met previously with Councillor Payne Stark.
Yeah.
So it's very relevant to me against that. There are two things that I need to raise on top of that discussion. So the first one was in that meeting I showed you information provided under the Freedom of Information Act on accidents and incidents along Forest Road. I need to clarify that now. The information provided by HCC was incorrect. It was for a completely different stretch of Forest Road.
Right, so that...
Why it then entirely, when I searched for fatalities and serious injuries, I was able to find references, but on the wrong stretch of road. Using the same search criteria, there is no evidence of any fatalities, serious injuries along that stretch of road. I'm looking for HCC to come back with correct data. I don't know why they supplied me with the wrong data, or if their decisions were even based on the wrong data. So it needs clarifying. But at the moment, there is nothing there from a safety point of view.
Yeah, we couldn't find nothing,
that
could we?
justifies that implementation.
Okay, that's good to know.
The second one that I wanted to do was, having put things onto the Denmead Community Facebook page, there were a couple of comments on there that were quite personal about a couple of the councillors. I did try to get those removed, but I was unable to work out how to contact the administrator to get those taken down. So I wish to offer some apologies that those were put on there. They weren't from me, they were from somebody else, but it was not acceptable.
That's fine, that's not a problem. I'm sure council accepts that, but again, it's no fault of your own. If people wish to comment on Facebook, they're going to, regardless of...
I expected some push and shove around on there.
Yeah, sure.
I would say
it's nice of you.
There's about, I think it's quite much 100 comments on there. Off of that, there is nobody says that they were a good idea. There were one or two that said, well, if you just go through them properly like I did, okay, I think absolutely everything else was no. So I don't think there's support for those being in place there, I'm afraid. It's not under your domain to take them out or do anything with it. I fully accept that. But if you could represent that back into the county council, that would be appreciated.
That would be fine, I'm sure we can do that, Liz, can't we? We can record that. But again, thank you for your apology, but it's not needed. We understand how social media works, and I'm sure we're all used to it. So thank you for that, Mark, thank you. Anything further?
Yeah, I'll stop there.
Yeah, okay, much. So if you could just state your name for the recording.
Tom Peters.
Tom.
I've come along again to just put my point across about item 10. When the proposal was made, I strongly objected to it. I wrote to council and made my points very clear. I live in the immediate vicinity of Forest Road, and I have done for about 40 plus years. I think they're wholly inappropriate, I would say. I can make these comments as a professionally trained driver. I'm actually a blue light response trained driver. I have legally driven that road in the past at 60, when it used to be a 60, it used to be a 40, and now it's a 30. The speed limit for that section of road is wholly inappropriate. It should be 40 mile an hour road all day long. So, yeah. What was I going to say? The location of the cutouts are dangerous. The one near Little Corner, the one near Parklands. I myself, a number of times, nearly had accidents because of people trying to cut through and, you know, misjudging it. They're dangerous, particularly if a vehicle pulls out of Parklands and turns left and doesn't look. Same with the situation at the corner. They're actually encouraging people to speed up because of their positioning, and they're, you know, trying to get around them as quickly as they can to avoid a head-on situation. The one down at, well, near Forest Farm, it's more appropriately placed, but it doesn't do anything to slow down the traffic that's oncoming from the Harvest Road end. And that one is actually quite difficult to get round because of the speed of oncoming traffic. So I've had near misses at 4 o'clock in the morning along there. People, you know, clearly you can see headlights coming from a long distance and they're still trying to cut around it, etc. I've recently moved within the village. I've literally moved 100 yards opposite where I was before. However, I was looking at another property and I quite rightly made the decision that I'm not going to buy it. I'm going to back onto Forest Road. The road noise, the traffic, congestion, fumes, that has increased. I think one of my main comments I would say with this, there are sections of Forest Road, particularly from Harvest Home down to Innes Lane, where traffic calming and measures to reduce the speed are wholly appropriate because the carriageway, no footpath, etc. I think vested agendas of, I believe, previous councillors have pushed for traffic calming on Forest Road, and this is what we have inherently ended up with, which is wholly inappropriate to that location, and it's actually created an issue when there wasn't one. And that is my take on it. It's, you know, a certain council has pushed this, and this is what we've ended up with, and the parish council can't do anything to undo it. I mean, ridiculous things. The other day, I know there was people moaning about all the signs that have been turned around. Well, the reason the signs were turned around because there was a large wide load with a mobile home that couldn't get through because the cycling, the traffic lights. They're increasing the carriageway where? Because it's forcing cars onto the same section of the road. I mean, they installed these. There was potholes in the immediate vicinity. Didn't fit them in, just put these on. I hate to think of the cost. Is anyone able to tell me the cost of this?
55,000.
It would be better spent researching how the road itself is inherently dangerous. So that's just my thoughts on it. And as I say, the big thing, it's, you know, I think vested interests have, you know, led us into this situation.
Okay. Is that all, John? Yeah.
I have one more thing to put in, I just thought of which the parish council can help with.
Go ahead, Mark.
Right, so there is a military meeting that happens around about mid-May, early June, which is off the Forest Road. Could you sort out something in advance on what to do with the traffic and the parking that's going to happen? Because that's bad when the road was straight and then we've got that installation on it.
We now have queuing traffic on Forest Road, we never did.
Don't know if you can with that, but if there's some practice we could do beforehand, it's going to be bad.
So that would be communications with highways, but we can discuss that perhaps later. Okay, thank you. That's a good note to bring forward. Thank you. Is that all, gentlemen? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Thanks very much for your opinions and your concerns, and I can definitely relate to a few of them. I've had a few near misses myself, and mirror to mirror, almost a rat run through there, and the visibility coming out of junctions also. So I share your concerns and opinions on that. What I will do now is I'll close the public participation. Before we move on to item 6, perhaps if I can just ask committee if they're happy to bring forward item 10 on the agenda, which is the discussion on Forest Side, so that we can address that. So a quick show of hands, all in favour to bring item 10 forward. So no, that's fine, thank you. So let me see that. Okay, so item 10 on the agenda is Forest Road speeding measures. Councillors Clay and Councillor Stallard met with a resident in February to discuss the speeding measures which were installed on Forest Road last year. Following the meeting, the resident asked the Parish Council to contact Hampshire County Council to raise some of the points discussed, to discuss and determine action. Thank you. So myself and Councillor Stallard did meet Mark, who don't mind me addressing it yet, as Mark, in Barnards, who raised some points to us on the 8th of February, and you've all seen the points, but just to read some of them out. Bullet point number 1 was what problem was it trying to solve? Number 2, the biggest problem is the one by Thursley Corner. Third point was not sufficient lighting at Thursley Corner. 4th, traffic turning into the road on the right. 5, needs more traffic signage. And number 6, was there any environmental report? So we just note that Councillor Tony Berry has now joined the meeting. A couple of minutes. Thanks, Tony. You good? Right. Yeah. Okay. We're just on item 10, Tony. Forest Road speeding measures. Okay. Once you get yourself settled. Okay. Right. Over to Council for discussion, views and opinions, and we've heard the members of the public. What's Councillor Vickers?
There's nothing that you said that I don't disagree with. I wasn't on council when it was all coming through. I think I came on at the end of the discussion. So I take your point about it was maybe an agenda that was pressed through for one particular councillor. I too have seen near misses, lived in the village like you guys, 45 years. And I live in Harvest Road, so I live in the bit that sort of speeds up and speeds down into that thing. Regularly go to Parklands because I walk my dogs in the forest and some news coming out. I completely get it. I don't understand why. And I actually do believe as a council we need to raise it with Hampshire formally, because I think the level of angst about it, and it is an accident waiting to happen. You know, does somebody have to die? Does somebody have to be injured? Does an animal have to be run over? What happens?
It works in Hampden.
Oh, sorry, sir. I forgot to mention, because there's public sessions we can't then address. Sorry, I should have mentioned that.
I do take point. It does work in Hampden because it's a pinch point. I think the pressure on the village as well. I think the Hampden Road has had a battering because people are opting to go that way out of the village. So we've now got really unsafe road services in Hampden Road, and we've got the rat run that is now Forest Road. So I actually, there's nothing there that you've said that I wouldn't throw my weight as a councillor against. And I do think that we do need to make representation to the highways, you know, to Hampshire County Council, because I don't think it's working for our village.
Okay. Any other councillors with input, please? Councillor Harrison and Councillor Betts.
Was speed bumps ever looked into it? So it was before my time, so I don't know. But all the sort of speed bumps were there.
We did consider that, but at the end there was only 2 options presented during our consultation, and that was the pinch points and Councillor Stallard, can you please clarify?
Yeah, it was either priority build-outs or pinch points. That's all that was.
That was just
So
the 2.
Speed bumps not looked at or not proposed.
I can't remember at the time. I can't remember what discussions. Councillor, I know Councillor Betts was next, but Councillor Berry, if you're able to answer.
Yeah, speed bumps they don't tend to use now because the damage really goes to long vehicles, and that's why Hampshire County Council now have decided to stop them because people were claiming off them. We've got the same problem down where I live, and that's what they've done. So that what they do is put in pinch points or stuff like that.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Berry, for clarification.
Yeah.
Okay, Councillor Betts.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree because I don't like it as well. I don't like driving on it. I don't feel safe. You can have someone coming. You can drive as slow as you like, but if someone's coming fast at you, then there's not what you can do. I think in terms of going back, the interesting point on the wrong data, the fact that if maybe it was substantiated on something that wasn't true might be an interesting thread to follow in a further follow-up. And I also would support you planning for Overlord and then thinking about how you can manage all the cars because it is annoying with the traffic build up. So
Okay.
I agree with Councillor.
Thank you. Any more discussion in your feed? Councillor Ranger, then Councillor Stallard.
I wasn't involved in the original plan because I wasn't on the council at the time. However, a couple of data points for some of the members of the council, as far as I can recall. Forest Road was always designed to be almost a bypass for the High Street of Denmead. That was what it was originally designed as. Rightly or wrongly, a bypass to me means a lot bigger and better and faster than what we currently got in Forest Road, but it was designated as a bypass back in the early days of when that estate and Bings and the parking, and everything else was built. Point one. Point two, I've tried to obtain the latest status from, or the original status from Hampshire Council in terms of what was the original objective to try to achieve. Was it to reduce speed, or was it to mitigate speed limit reductions or whatever else? And it's been very difficult to obtain that data. Number two. Number three, to the gentleman's point in the public earlier, the good news is there's not been any fatalities or serious injuries. Not to suggest that we're tempting fate, but there hasn't been anything, which is, in some respects, some would argue, and I'm just putting a balanced view out there, some would argue that in some respects it's actually doing what it should be doing, which is making sure that there aren't any fatalities or road traffic accidents. Having said that, listen to the other member of the public in terms of blue light. I am aware that the emergency services were not in favour of those pinch points in the first place. I'm also aware that the residents of the nearby surrounding area were allegedly consulted. It turns out that survey was a very limited survey, maybe probably less than 150 in total. And to me, that's not a representation of the village. So my response would be that I think not only a worded letter to Hampshire Highways or indeed Hampshire County Council, but I would ask them to validate the data, to go back, because if you've got wrong data, you're going to get wrong results. Validate the data so that we know what we're operating with in terms of accuracy. Validate the data. I'd also be interested to know whether the traffic has actually increased through Forest Road versus the Hambledon Road loop, if you will. And even if it has, that's good data, because then we can make a view as to whether the Forest Road or Hambledon Road is the right one to focus on. But at the moment, with bad data in, bad data out, and at the moment, I don't feel comfortable making any decision until we've got clarity on the data from Hampshire County Council. But that would be my recommendation.
Thank you, Councillor Ranger. Councillor Stallard, you had your hand up.
Yes, just a little bit more on the background. Started about 2022, I believe, when all this happened. Obviously, the consultation that was put out to residents, it didn't give residents a choice on where they wanted the speed coming measures. Obviously, Forest Road was decided. With the survey, we only had 368 votes. So obviously the village wasn't consulted properly. not with how many people are in the village. So they shouldn't have been built in the first place.
Councillor Stallard. Okay, is that the end of discussion? Okay, so I'm going to make a proposal that we take this to Hampshire Highways with not only our concerns and issues, but also those comments made by members of the public, and we request that Hampshire Highways provide us with some data and do a collection of data surveys themselves, and they come out and assess the safety of the pinch points that have been put in place, visibility, speed, etc. And then we feed back, hopefully to council, what those results are. But I think we need to push that and get some action done by Highways by getting them out on site. That's my proposal, unless someone has something else to propose or wish to second. Councillor Stallard seconds. So can I have a show of hands all in favour of that proposal to go to Highways requesting data, surveys, etc. That was unanimous, including mine. Sorry. Yes, the site visit was also included in that. That's fine. So that was
Can we ask that somebody from the council is present?
Yes, there is always a, yeah,
Right,
it would be the
yeah,
check, so that's fine.
Site visit and there's a site visit, isn't there?
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, that's item 10 over with. So you're more than welcome to stay for the rest of the agenda, but if that's what you came for, that's now you're more than welcome to.
11 and 12 as well.
11 and 12. Oh, okay.
Change the order.
Yes,
12. Okay. If
11.
committee is happy, I'm happy to bring forward items 11 and 12 for the purpose of the members of the public present this evening. So can I have a show of hands all in favour to move 11 and 12 forward? That's unanimous, thank you very much. So we will now go on to item 11, which is Hambledon Road repairs. Following agreement at the last committee meeting, Councillor Clay put forward a report together regarding the state of Hambledon Road. This was sent together with supporting photos to Hampshire Highways. A response has been received from Hampshire Transformation and Business Services advising Highways have reviewed the location and undertaken a site visit, during which no defects meeting the investigatory level were identified, although some minor delamination was noted. The officer inspected the route from the property at Mullins to Hillstart towards Hambledon and drove from Hambledon to End Link. We have asked for clarification on the route to discuss and determine action. So I don't know where these guys went. I have no idea. We tried to look, myself and Liz, and we did finally establish that Mullins is just past Uplands Road on your way to Hambledon, past the poultry up the hill here, etc. So at first we thought they went the wrong direction. So we have gone back to them to ask for clarification exactly what route did they undertake. My feeling on this is obviously I'm not happy with the outcome. We requested a site visit with them in person. They've come out and done it by themselves. I have no idea what vehicle they used to drive the length, but it may have been a Jeep. So you should imagine that the suspension is going to be very kind. They wouldn't have felt anything. So yeah, waiting for that clarification to come back. But before we go into discussion, just to let you know that I'm not happy and that I think we should go back and request an on-site visit along with the clarification, and that we be present and go through some of the original statements that council put forward. So it's now open to discussion for councillors for input and opinion. Councillor Betts, then Councillor Vickers.
Yeah, can we send them photos?
So we did.
Yeah.
So I think I provided you about 12 photos, which I think in total was over 150 defects. And apparently that hasn't helped our case at all because they found little or no defects. So I don't know where they went.
Minor delamination definitely doesn't cover all.
No, it doesn't, no.
Major problems.
In fact, I think one of me on social, didn't we? Yeah, I don't know what they were looking at. But yeah, we did provide
Yes,
evidence.
I agree. I'm happy. Let's just let them clarify. I spent a little while on that trying to work out where that was. So, yeah.
I'm confused
Okay,
where
Councillor
they,
Vickers, yeah.
sorry, I'm confused where they went. Is my worry? Did they actually go, outside Denby Tyres, so there's a massive pothole as you drive in, as I
or Bearwood,
Yeah.
you know, where the school is.
Yeah.
That's really
Where did they go? That they see no reason that there was no potholes, which is a bit of a worry.
okay. Councillor Berry, and then Ranger. Thank you.
If Hampshire Highways did their job properly, when the inspector comes out, and I've met some of them, they come out in a white van with the yellow sign down and like normally, they park up and then they mark round any defects with white paint.
Mhm.
And then they take photos and they make a report on it. Along the Hambles roads, they haven't done nothing.
No.
So therefore it shows me that they haven't done their job properly.
Thank you, Councillor Berry. Councillor Ranger.
Yeah, I agree with everything so far. I think a strongly worded response email back to Hampshire Highways and probably escalating it to Copley District as well as the MP to say they're dissatisfied, because of all the things that people want to read or don't want to read on social media, I know that potholes are not specific to Denmead, they're everywhere, even in the local vicinity, even just going down to Burbrook, for example, they're just as bad, in my opinion. But I don't believe that they have taken this seriously enough, so a strongly worded response back, and may even be an escalation within the Hampshire Highways Authority body, but also leverage the district as well as MP, and to make sure that they've got it on their agenda as well.
Thank you. Anyone discussion? Councillor Harrison.
Just as background information, I made a representation to Sue Gravelman's office, but as a president or as a councillor, I complained about Hambledon Road from Mill Road down to White Hart, Southwark Road down to the Yellow Pub. Got the name of it. Harvester. And the hump that's up by the nursery on the Hambledon Road that seems to get worse every year. And
The dip where you've
yeah, and the response that came back was exactly the same. There was no problems.
Okay. Okay, so I propose that we go back to Hampshire Highways and let them know that we're not happy. So yeah, a strongly worded letter that we would like clarification on the route that they took, clarification that they did take into account the evidence that was provided, the report and the photographs, and that we request an on-site visit with myself, possibly Councillor Berry as well, who's happy to join, to address the condition of Hambledon Road, and that we also copy in district and MPs as well.
I'll second that.
Yep, Councillor Berry second, so can I have a show of hands all in favour of that proposal? Thank you. That's great. That's item 11. Yeah, we're simply just asking them for the third phase, because they've done the first and the second, heading towards Waterville. And in my report, I just simply said perhaps the third phase could be moved forward slightly so that we go to the village and then we'll be done. So that's fine. Okay, so as agreed previously, we now move on to item 12 on the agenda, which is the Community Speed Watch. Following agreement at the last committee meeting, a flyer has been uploaded to social media asking residents if they would be interested in supporting the Community Speed Watch scheme. No responses have been received so far. This is to note, but I am happy to inform the clerk this evening that I have received communication from the Denmead Village Association and Neighbourhood Watch that they are very keen to participate and get involved and would like to know further information if you could circulate to them. Okay, and as to councillors as well, if you know any other groups or anybody that wishes to get involved, then do pass Liz's details on to them so that they can be contacted. Councillor Ranger.
I know it was to note, and not to discuss, but a note, addendum if I may, if Forest Road and if any other areas are in the spotlight for either speeding or speed measures and or quality of roads, it can only further enhance the need of having a community speed watch group in place.
Yeah.
So in some respects, the fact is that we've got on some side of the village, rightly so, saying it's not working in Forest Road and or it's not quality of the road, etc., etc. But if you've got zero, I say zero, obviously we've got DVA or whatever. In terms of the community speed watch thing, it doesn't sit right with me in terms of, on one side we've got people shouting and screaming about it, on the other side we've got no one what they're doing about it, and other than writing to Hampshire Highways, it just doesn't sit right. So we need to have a rethink perhaps about how we solicit or enlist the support of any groups in terms of Community Speak Watch, I would suggest. Residents and or council and or other community groups. Because the two don't work together in my opinion. That's my note.
That's a good note to keep for item 20, which is social media, so we can perhaps bring that up.
Reinforce on social media.
Okay.
Help us to help you or something. I don't know, but I think there's something there. Sorry.
Okay, back to the agenda move. So that's item. So again, you're more than welcome to stay. Touch it. But thank you very much for attending this evening.
Cheers.
Okay, cheers. Thank you. Thanks. Cheers. Okay, item 6 on the agenda. We're going back to order now. Is the committee terms of reference to review. So, have you all had a chance to go through the Highways and General Purposes Committee membership terms of reference? Yeah. Is everybody happy to adopt? Yeah. So may I have a show of hands, all in favour to agree and adopt the membership terms of reference? And that is unanimous. Yeah, brilliant, thank you. Good, there's no changes. Okay, item 7 is the service level agreements. Service level agreements for Currans and Benley for 2026 for review. Changes have been highlighted to discuss and determine action. So these are our annual contract. And I think if we do Currans first. Yeah, there's only one change, and that is to the cost for grave digging for cremation plot at the weekends is now £150. That's the only change for Currans. Benley. I think we have change of address. And also prices increases. The grave digging for a double deck plot is now 1,980, and grave digging for a single deck plot is 1,650. And also the last one is agreed payment terms are a maximum of 30 days for invoice dates. That's the only highlighted ones for Benley. Yes.
Chair, just to mention that the maximum 30 days, Jenny said that that's our policy anyway, so there wasn't really a change there. It might just be worth noting that Benley's quotes 1,980 for a double, for 1,650 for a single depth plot, and Currans is 1,040. So there's quite a difference there, but we don't use Benleys for singles, we use Currans. Currans don't do double depths.
But Benley do.
But Benley do. So Currans do the singles, Benleys do the doubles. Pardon? Currans, I think they stopped doing double depth plots some time ago because I think it's the problem with the stability of the graves and everything. So
it's falling in.
So it's just Benleys that do that now.
Yeah. Okay, can I have a show of hands? Oh, sorry, Councillor Snellgrove.
I noticed that Benley was in charge for a grave digging, and they had a single deck, 1,650. But the digging for the grave digging fee for applicants is only 1,040, I believe. So does the parish pay the difference in costs?
We're coming on to the burial ground fees. It's the annual review for those, so those will be transferred. The costs will be transferred to the burial ground fees when we agree them. Okay, that's an item a bit for later on.
So if there are no other questions, is committee happy to agree and adopt the level service agreements? May I have a show of hands, all in favour? It's unanimous, thank you. Yeah. Okay, item 8 on the agenda is the pedestrian bridge at River Ends to Old River. Hampshire County Council have confirmed that a bridge is being replaced with a similar clear span bridge and ordinary watercourse Down drainage consent is not required. The contractor who originally quoted for the replacement bridge last year has provided an amended quote. This is based on a new bridge similar to the bridge near Creech View on the Greenway, which was replaced by Hampshire County Council. The original quote is also included with the supporting documents to discuss and determine action. Liz?
I just feel that before you get into a discussion about this, that I have spoken to Craig from Benleys today, because obviously there's a huge difference between the two quotes. And what he told me was that the latest quote, we did, there was a bridge replaced at Creech View, wasn't there? And Sam brought photographs back to the office, and everybody said, you know, it was a really good bridge. So we went out to Craig and asked him if he could quote for a similar bridge. But that the reason that it's so expensive is that it comes in kit form, and the company build it on site. So I spoke to Craig today and about his previous quote, which was last August, because obviously there's a difference of over £10,000. And he told me that he could do the type of bridge that he put in the original quote. It would be a lot cheaper, and it would have disability access. So I think that it's got a bit blurred because we went to him and sent that photograph and said, could he quote for a bridge like that? But it isn't actually necessary for us to have that exact bridge.
Okay, so what has he come back with a
No, because I only spoke to him, well, probably about 1 o'clock. So I said to him, I'd bring it to the meeting tonight. And then if council decide that we're going to go back for a re-quote on the original, whatever it's decided.
Councillor Betts?
That bridge is the
Creech.
No.
That's Creech View. That's
no,
Creech,
I know
yeah.
that one is specifically, but this
That's
is
the
one
16,000
Oh,
as
yeah.
well.
16,000.
Okay, that's the expensive bridge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of which would only be 13,855 because we claim back the VAT. So it's the cheap, yeah. Councillor Berry, then Councillor Ranger.
Have we been out to other companies for quotes? So that we got 3 quotes to look at for a bridge?
No.
Because normally after a certain amount with our policy, we have to go up for 3 quotes,
We haven't
which
gone
is in
over
standing orders.
What amount is that?
I believe it's 30.
I
Yeah.
thought it was
30, yeah.
Well,
So we haven't
certainly-
gone, yeah. So we can go to our preferred supplier.
Yeah.
Councillor Ranger.
This is the one that's installed, and this is the one that's not on the agenda item that we're discussing now. Having said that, I think we've got to be conscious that what we don't want is a plethora of different types of bridges, in my opinion. It'd be nice if we had them all in a similar, either material, shape, form, colour, whatever, where possible. So I would be in favour of getting a re-quote on the basis that it looks something like what we've already had installed by the Environmental Agency, I think it was. Hampshire, beg your pardon. As opposed to something like a complete white elephant. So that would be my comment. And if company Bentley or whatever it was,
Bentley.
can provide a re-quote, then I would suggest that we can discuss that on email.
Yes.
And approve it on email or not, and then we don't have to wait for the next highways thing to get going, because currently the one that I believe is looking to be replaced is actually quite dangerous, and I think we're only just waiting for an accident to happen on it. So
Yeah.
that would be my
So
2 cents.
yeah, so my opinion is that the bridge definitely needs doing. Very much the same as Councillor Ranger, I would like to propose that. Councillor Vickers, before I propose, yes.
Yeah, good fun. I think it's a lot of money for that sort of bridge. I think there are other bridges, as you know, Goodman Field, that we need to consider, given the sewerage and people walking through it. So I think we have to be really mindful of the fact that, you know, we have other bridges to consider in this, and I was the one that brought Riversend, so I'm not opposed to it. I do believe there should be another quote out, because I do think it is a lot of money. I do think it's aesthetically pleasing, and I do take your point that But we are, you know, we have a number of bridges to consider, particularly Goodman's Fields. I know it's not for this agenda, but, you know, given the water policy there, that does need to be up for consideration. So I wouldn't want to be putting all our money into one bridge. But I was the one that brought this event, so I do recognise it has a lot of traffic to work through with the school. But I would like to see this price drastically reduced. I would not be agreeing for that sort of money.
Okay, Councillor Betts.
Yes, just wanted to note that the limit is 5,000, upon which we need to get 2 quotes. So where the value is between 500 and 5,000, excluding bad committee clerkship, blah blah, shall try to obtain 2 estimates. So, and then if it's over 5,000 but under 30, it's 2 fixed quotes. So 5,000 is the
Yeah. Do we have a second? Do we have a second preferred supplier for bridges?
Well, it needs to be to Francis.
Yeah, do that. Fine. Okay. So, Councillor Ranger.
So suggestion, I mean, maybe just worth going back to the Hampshire County Council and finding out who supplied that. There is a badge on it, by the way, the label from the manufacturer, but who supplied Hampshire County Council, and maybe utilise that name to see if you can get a like-for-like similarity quote.
Just, Chair, just to mention that Craig Benley knows who fitted that bridge, and so he based it on what they would charge him to have that bridge fitted and him to do the rest of the work.
Right.
So the company that Craig has been in touch with are I don't know how he found out, presumably he found out from Hampshire, that it's the same company.
Okay, good.
Okay. So I'd like to propose that we go back to Benley for a review quote, and that we also source a second provider. We can perhaps speak to Frances, the amenities clerk, to see if she has preferred supplier on her committee, and that we bring those quotes back via email for a vote from councillors to decide on which way we go forward, considering that we do need a bridge, and that we can decide that via email on the quotes that are produced. If committee. Thank you, Councillor Berry. May I have a show of hands all for that proposal? It's unanimous. Thank you. Okay, item 9 on the agenda is the request for a litter bin at Heathfield Car Park. The Secretary of the Denmead War Memorial Hall has contacted the Parish Council request a litter bin is placed in the car park at Heathfield, possibly next to the fence, to discuss and determine action. So I've been up there with Councillor Stallard, and we've had a quick look round, and I think a bin up at the Memorial Hall is very much needed, and the recommended place that they've suggested near the fence is more than ideal. So unless there's any other councillor input, I'm almost ready to make an instant proposal that we go ahead and we place the bin at the recommended site near the fence. Oh, yeah, I don't know, yeah. Councillor Stallard seconded, so can I have a show of hands all in favour to place a bin at the Denmead War Memorial Hall near the fence? And that is unanimous? Yeah, very much. Okay, Lisa. Okay, on to item 13 now on the agenda, which is Creech View Play Area Bin. A new dog waste bin has been purchased and positioned near Creech View Play Area, and this is just to note. Item 14 on the agenda is Bus Shelter Grant Scheme. Following inspection of all bus shelters in the village, a quote was obtained and application submitted for new panels for the bus shelter on Hambledon Road near Dando Road. We have been advised by Passenger Transport at Hampshire County Council that our application has been approved. We wait to hear from them further to note, but Liz, you've got an update?
Councillor Clay, I've had an email today advising me that everything's going ahead, but we should receive the funds before the end of June. Okay.
Yeah, that was a good shout, I think.
Good shout.
Yeah, brilliant. We had a good day out that day, didn't we? We walked around the village. Yeah, brilliant.
Was that the only bus shelter that needed attention?
That qualified, yeah. The one that needed the most attention. So yeah, well done. Okay, item 15 on the agenda is the Working Party for Roundabouts and Planters in the Village. As agreed at the last committee meeting, a flyer has been uploaded to social media asking if any residents would be interested in joining a working party to care for roundabouts and planters in the village. One resident has responded so far, and that's just to note. But perhaps we can bring that up at item 20 as well. Okay, item 16 is the Letters to Heaven postbox. A postbox has been installed at the burial ground and a flyer uploaded to social media. A proof has been received for a plaque 18 by 14 and a quote is awaited. This is to note, but I will change this because I believe we have an update as of today with new information from Liz Whitty-Clark.
So, Chair, there's quite a lot of lettering on the plaque. Dennis from Stonewright counted that there's 369 letters. It would normally cost £569 plus VAT, so £683. But he's agreed to do it all for us and supply and fit the memorial for £444, so giving us a discount of £239. I went back to him today. Would you like to pass those out?
Thank you.
As Councillor Stallard and Councillor Clay asked if there could be an image on the plaque, and these are the suggestions that they very kindly came back with today.
Okay, so let's just take a moment to look at options 1, 2 and 3. Thank you for this, Liz. It's brilliant.
Everybody's gonna have a different view, aren't they? I think we should have the overriding view.
It does. So we should write numbers on the back of our forms. Mine's number 3. So I'm happy to enter into a quick discussion because we can open this up because it's new information today and the note has been received. So I quite like option 3 because, as Liz has already stated, it connects quite well with the dog sign that we have already in place that Councillor Stallard put together. So we've used the same angels for the plaque, so it all connects the dots together. So I quite like number 3. What's other councillors' views?
I like number 2.
Tony likes number
Because it shows
2.
male and female.
No, I did think that.
Gender
You
balance.
know, because my thoughts are at the parent ground, you've got male and female.
So you could put that.
And when, if you put female all the time, it doesn't fit well. You've got to, these days, because of Quality Act and that, you've got to show respect to both.
Okay. Councillor Betts.
Yes, I'd argue that you can't tell the gender of the angels on number 3. I would say, as much as maybe number 2 has explicit gender implications, I don't think that a binary interpretation is probably a suitable rationale for exclusion. I think
Just think aesthetically.
probably a better rationale is Councillor Clay. I would be inclined to agree with continuity. And we can just believe one is, we can presume the gender away.
Any other further comments?
I like number 1. I think it goes across gender. I think it goes across gender. I think it's neutral.
Councillor Stallard.
I like number 3.
Is that because you chose the angel for the plaque?
Yeah. But also,
Right.
can we sort of take that angel and then put it on number 2?
I've just asked
Oh,
Liz
just
the
asked,
same
okay.
question. The answer is no,
Oh,
because
okay.
it needs to... Sorry, Liz, go on.
Sorry, Chair, it's up to the council to decide, but I think aesthetically, you know, they've got to match whichever we choose.
I like number 3
I
as
think we
well.
have to put it to a vote then, because I think we're all
Okay.
going to be very different, so I think the majority should get it.
Councillor Ranger.
The price that was quoted it includes the graphics, does it? Did you say or not?
Councillor Clay,
Liz, yes,
that is
go
the
on.
final bit of good news. I went back to Dennis at Stonewright and said how much would the additional cost be for the graphics, and he said he would include it in the quote.
I think
Brilliant,
that's
see?
probably decent.
Isn't it?
I do.
Okay, so let's go to the
I
vote.
think we should actually write a
let's-
letter of thanks, actually, because I think
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
probably decent, you know.
Yeah, so we go for a vote. And what did you say?
Number 3.
Well, we go for a vote, I think. So, hands up for all in favour of number 1.
I like
Okay. Councillors put their hands up in favour of number 2. Oh, and Michelle. That was 3. Now we get on to number 3. Councillors were all in favour of number 3.
Oh, it's just not there.
That's close, wasn't it? So it's number 3. So therefore, I propose that we go. Just to note, we've already proposed that last time, didn't we?
Yeah.
So it's the agreement. So yeah, number 3 it is then. But again, it's a good idea to do a letter of thanks for him doing.
It is very decent, yeah.
Thank you. That's good news. Good update. Thanks, Liz. So let's put that on number 20 as well. Okay. Item 17 is the Sustainable Travel Support. A follow-up meeting will be held on Wednesday the 22nd of April 2026 to discuss which projects to take forward and how to proceed. This is just a note. Thank you. And then item 18 is Safer Neighbourhood Panel. The next meeting of the Safer Neighbourhood Panel will take place at 7:30 on Thursday the 23rd of April 2026. That should say.
Sorry.
That's fine, that's no problem. At the Denby Community Centre, and this is also just a note. On to item 19, the burial ground. 19.1, sorry, it should read.
Sorry.
It's not a problem, it's fine. So item 19.1, applications. To note the list of applications since the last committee meeting. Liz has circulated them out, so you've all had a chance to look at the applications, that's fine. So 18.2, additional cremation plots at the burial ground. A quote has been received for 22 new cremation plots from the contractor who constructed the last 2 new rows in the North Field. A further quote is awaited to discuss and determine action. So, Liz, again, update.
Councillor Clay, I spoke to Currans last Wednesday before I went on leave, and Chris Curran told me that they have somebody who works with them who would be able to quote, but he wanted to meet me at the burial ground to discuss it. So that meeting hasn't been arranged yet. I'm waiting for Currans to come back to me, but I will chase them tomorrow. Whether we go ahead or...
Well, considering that there might be another quote coming up, I would be happy to defer this item until the next Highways and General Purposes, so then we can bring up to...
It isn't urgent. We've got cremation plots left.
Fine. So I'm happy for that to take place and we bring that back to the next one. All in favour to defer the item to the next agenda? Thank you. Who's happy for that? Are you happy to go by yourself, or did you want someone else there?
No, it's fine. Yeah,
Okay,
thank you.
Liz. Okay. Item 19.3 is the burial ground fee inquiry. An inquiry has been received from a former Denmead Parish Councillor to discuss and determine action. Okay, so as you probably all realise, this is for Christine Phillips, the late Christine Phillips, who was previously connected to the council, who moved to Yorkshire, and her family have requested a plaque to be erected in the graveyard. Just for information, as you can see, a non-resident fee for a plaque would be £415. A resident would only pay £85. I tried to ascertain how long Christine's service with the council was, but I couldn't find anything.
I knew her, I didn't know she passed away sadly. She was very, she did do it with her husband for a short amount of time, it wasn't very long. But she was very active in the luncheon club, so she was well thought of in the village. She was very active in the Denmead luncheon club. So I'm just really sad that I didn't realise that she passed.
Thank you, Councillor Vickers. Okay, Liz, sorry, you were going to say?
I was just going to say, Councillor Clay, that I did find out that they joined the council in February 2008, but we weren't able to check how long they served as councillors.
It wasn't very long, both of them, because they then relocated. But
Okay.
she was an active resident in the village in a voluntary capacity and other things.
Councillor Ranger?
So just to be clear, are we asking council to consider this request because the now deceased used to live in Denmead, or what's the relation that she used to be a councillor? Sorry, I just want to be clear here.
Yeah, so they just want to put a plaque up in the graveyard as a memorial, and she was part of the council. So they've asked whether or not we would recognise that and give some kind of...
in that case, it sets a precedent for future, right? Because I do not know how many ex-councillors could come back or want to come back and say, can we have our plaque or whatever else. I'm nervous about setting any precedent, bearing in mind we've made it very clear, quite recently I think, that non-residents pay X, residents pay Y. No disrespect, I know that she or family may no longer be here, but nobody suggested that. We didn't suggest she moved to Yorkshire.
Well, yeah, this is the opportunity to discuss it. So regardless of length of service, anyone that's been on the council, would we consider to give them a reduction in fee? Or would we want to charge them half?
I don't think we should.
Okay.
Councillor Vickers? They're clearly asking for a discount.
Yeah, reduction in, rather than pay the full price of $415, they would like to be considered for a resident fee of £85. Whether or not council commit to give the 85 or price of their own or not at all is down to committee. Councillor Betts.
I mean, they're not a resident.
Not
so
anymore, no.
unfortunately, I would be, we have rules, unless we want to define a clear tenure. I still would be uneasy about allowing councillor versus regular resident. I feel like that makes me uneasy, so should we say anyone who's lived in the village 30 years? It becomes very arbitrary, so resident, non-resident, I think black and white makes it easiest. Sorry, that seems hard.
No, that's fine. No, Liz.
Councillor Kay, I would just mention that I originally spoke to, I think his name's Grenville Phillips, and he wasn't asking for a discount. I think that it's the stonemasons really that have maybe pushed this a little bit.
Oh, fine. I didn't know that. Okay. Okay. Would that help, Councillor Ranger?
I'd like to make a proposal that the list price is the list price, and the price list is the price list. And if you're a resident, you have it at this price. If you're not a resident, you have it at that price.
Okay, it's been seconded by Councillor Betts. May I have a show of hands all in favour of Councillor Ranger's proposal? And that is unanimous. Okay. Thanks for that, Liz. Brilliant. Okay, item 19.4 is the Memorial Garden. Review provision of the Memorial Garden and wall for the memorial plaque to discuss and determine action. So, we recently did a site visit, myself, Councillor Stallard and Liz, to inspect the graveyard, and then we decided to take a walk over to the memorial area, and we came across what you can see in the pictures here, and I feel that it's very bland. It's not. Yes, quite right. Yes, it needs some attention to it. So that's why I've added it on the agenda this evening, because I believe that we need to revamp it and make it more attractive for those that wish to scatter ashes or etc. Liz?
Yes, you're right. This is where if somebody wants their ashes scattered in the burial ground, they're scattered. We charge £140 for residents and we charge £700 for non-residents to be scattered in this area.
Councillor Berry?
Yeah, that to me doesn't even look like a remembrance plaque for the deceased. What I suggest is that we get a white wall, put Danny's two angels up there, match it, and make it a focal point so that it stands out and people can see it, and put it up there, Denmead Parish Council Memorial.
So we've had a little play at home using AI and magic stuff.
I was going to say, just needs to actually see it and
it hasn't done exactly what we wanted. We wanted to add more, but this will kind of give you an idea of what we could do. We could add flowers, etc. It hasn't done. We wanted to add like maybe a bird table or something with wood, etc. But limited. But this gives you an idea of what we are looking at. If I open up these for the Memorial Hall, which is currently the just round.
Sexton's Hut.
Yeah, it's on the Sexton's Hut, which is just round the corner here.
Got a photograph.
Oh, we've got that here. So it is. Yeah, so that's kind of. I mean, the sun doesn't really hit it neither. That's out of the way. People can't see it. So we would be looking at perhaps doing a complete standalone wall by itself. More prominent, isn't it? It stands out. It's more attractive. And you know what? Let's go on. There's another one there, perhaps. These are just ideas rather than where that is at the moment. So what I was going to, Councillor Betts, yeah, I recognise your hand.
Just because I was going to interrupt.
That's fine.
I'm really happy that you've brought this because I think the plaques on the side of the shed have always made me feel a little bit sad.
Yeah, hidden, aren't they?
Yeah, especially because that doesn't get the sun there. So
Yeah.
I would like to say.
So with committee's agreement, I'd just like to propose that if you're happy for myself and Councillor Stallard to go away and do some further AI designs, etc., that we could circulate via email, would committee be happy to vote on a design that we do via email to then go ahead and put that into practice? If of course, committee is happy that this is something they want to look at.
Happy to go on email with regards to designs. The key question, of course, is the cost.
That's once a design has been, you would go out for cost.
I mean, I agree that we need something far better than what we've currently got. Absolutely, because what we've got just looks like it's been tacked on the back of the shed, in my opinion.
Well, it has.
And it's not conducive of anything. So yes, we should improve it. However, we need to bear in mind that we haven't got anything in the line budget for this. So those costs can't be ignored. We need to take it into account that we haven't got an empty bottomless pit.
So for a wall, for example, if, say for example, we circulated this and this won the vote in the emails, that would be then agreed to go out for quotation, which would then come back at the next one. So what I'm asking for is agreement for whatever we design. Council's happy for that to then go out for quote to come back. The garden, I should imagine, the ground staff could help us majority with the garden. Let's face it. So it's really just the wall we're after erecting. If council, if committee's happy to do a wall, and happy for Councillor Stallard and myself to design a few, circulate it by email. Whichever one gets the most votes will then go out for quotation.
Can I just say, I've moved my gravy up for a bit. I just think those doors need a little bit of a lick of paint as well. Yeah, I just think, you know, it's just a simple sort of like varnish them or stain them or just zhuzh them up a little bit, and I'm sure our ground team can do that.
Okay, on that. Councillor Snellgrove?
Yeah, have you considered the site of the memorial wall? Or is it just going to be next to the Sexton Hut?
Yeah, it would be Councillor Stallard.
Yeah, it would literally
Let me
be
just bring up.
next. Yes, you get the Sexton Hut.
We could just pop it just here where there's a space,
I was going to say, we just literally
or we
build
can go
a
that
wall
side. Yeah.
sort of from
That
the
side.
edge of the memorial garden just before the Sexton Hut.
There is a gap between the
so they're
Sexton
visible.
Hut and the memorial. You could put it at an angle
Yeah,
either side. So
just
yeah.
so they're visible.
Councillor Berry, then Liz.
You've got to be careful when putting them foundations in by a tree and that, because the roots expanding, and of course
So
during the summer and that the roots will take all the moisture from the brickwork and that and damage the brickwork. So you've got to allow somewhere about 9 to 12 metres away from the tree.
So I would imagine it would go this side, considering Councillor Berry's note. This is the furthest point away from the tree. I would suggest perhaps putting it in that area. Liz, you were going to say?
All I was going to say was I agree with you on that, because if we put it on the other side, it's going to block the new half headstones that
Which will be
we're
running down the
proposing.
Councillor Berry?
Yeah, looking at that photo and seeing that, what height are those lower limbs? Because they ought to be crown lifted, because if someone walks around...
This is the next thing. So once it's all in place, we would then look at making it accessible. Yeah. So I'm happy to make that into a proposal. Yeah, Councillor Berry seconded. Did you get my what
Yes.
I noted down? That means myself and Councillor Stallard will go away, do some further designs, circulate them for a vote, and then whichever wins will go out to quotation,
Yeah.
and then bring that back to the next committee.
Yeah.
Okay, it's been seconded by Councillor Berry. May I have a show of hands? All in favour, please? Brilliant, thank you very much. But yeah, I think that area does need attention. So thank you very much. Okay, item 19.5 was the burial ground fees, to review the fees for the next financial year, to discuss and determine action. Has committee had chance to review the fees? Yeah. Any inputs, any discussions? Are we happy with them? Councillor Snellgrove and Councillor Betts, and then Stallard and Ranger.
The question that I asked earlier about if Benley done the grave digging, does Denley Parish Council have to pick up the extra £600 in difference? Because they would be the grave digging fee that they the applicant would pay 1,040, and Benley charges 1,650.
I think it is.
Councillor Clay, as I mentioned earlier, we don't use Benleys for single depth graves. We only use Corrans. We use Benleys for double depth graves.
Yes, Benley is just a backup.
Yeah, yeah.
What happens
But-
though if Denley was to dig the grave? So I assume that Denley Parish Council would just pay that extra £600.
Well, we wouldn't use them. I know it is on the service level agreement, but we don't use them.
It's just for,
so
just for doubles.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
that's
we
it.
need to take the single depths off the service
Do.
level agreement for Benleys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just for there, just there for
Yeah.
reference. We just never use them.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll do that.
Thank you, Liz. Councillor Betts was next.
Same clarification.
It was the same. Over to Councillor Stannard. You were next. And then it was
Are we
Councillor Ranger.
limited how much we can come up by?
No,
RPI
IPI.
is
Yeah.
what we normally do. Yeah.
Can we go above that?
If you wish to, it's committee's decision. If committee wish to put the prices up, then this is the point at which we discuss it. If not, and you're happy to go with IPI, which is 3.2%, then we carry on by not. Well, it's up to council.
Councillor Clay, last year RPI was 3.7. That's what we put the fees up by.
Councillor Ranger.
Do these fees on this PDF, are they including the RPI or not including the RPI?
I haven't increased them yet. These
You
are
haven't?
last year's
These
fees.
are last year's fees?
Yeah.
Can I answer this?
Councillor Vickers.
Are we in the ballpark of other cemeteries?
I did have a look at some others, and
That would be quite interesting to know.
yeah, some are more expensive, some aren't. I mean, I do get occasions, Councillor Clay, where I get comments like, your fees are far more than, other ones. So I think we're probably middle ground.
Councillor Betts.
Yeah, it doesn't currently look like we make any money on the residents, which I think should continue. So if we put up by RPI, correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like the same numbers, the 1040, and then the 125 and the 150 for the grave digging. Is this a profit-making activity for us?
Yes.
Can I just explain,
course.
councillors? So if somebody wanted a new single depth grave, the grave digging fee currently is 1,040, but on top of that we charge a permit fee, which is £700. So that is the money that the parish council takes, £700 for the permit fee.
Thank you.
So, is committee happy to go along with the RPI of 3.2%, or would they like to increase it further? Councillor Snellgrove and Councillor Ranger, can you see your hands, please?
Can I just ask, with the permit fee, is it just a one-off payment that they pay?
Mm-hmm.
Or do they have to renew?
No, it's one off. That's it. Yeah.
Every 25 years?
No, that's it.
One off.
Oh.
It's one off, yeah. Yeah.
Councillor Ranger.
Have we had any indication from the organisations that perform the burials, South Downs and Forever Friends or whatever, in terms of how these fees relate to other graveyards?
Well, Councillor Clay, as I said previously, I do occasionally get comments that, you know, we're quite expensive. But then I have seen fees that are cheaper, so I think we're probably middle ground.
Middle ground.
Yes.
On that, sorry.
Councillor Vickers.
I guess for me, it comes back to the thorny subject of, you know, I don't want to raise it, but, you know, how much grave space we have left. Do we put it, you know, do we place it higher to suggest that cremation plots are a better use of that space? It is just a really thorny subject, and it's a really emotive subject for some people. So, want to be buried, and you know, is it that old adage, get it out of people's reach? And it's very much a choice, isn't it? For me, it's about the availability of what we've got left, and conserving it. I don't know. I think it's a very difficult one to consider.
Okay, so just considering time, I take Councillor Stallard as the last comment. Councillor Stallard?
My personal opinion would be that the burial fees should go up, but probably just keep the cremations either as they are or at lower rates, because obviously we are running out of space for burials. We've got to encourage people to go for cremation rather than burials.
Did you want to say something?
I was just going to, Councillor, I was just going to mention, listening to Councillor Vickers' points, that if you look at the back of the burial ground fees, you're probably all aware of it, but we don't take non-residents. It is purely for residents of Denmead now, except in some circumstances.
Yeah, I expect that is. I was just thinking of a cohort of older people that burial is much more of a preferred and traditional route in.
Okay, lastly then, Councillor Snellgrove.
Perhaps we want to consider what a lot of the other graveyards do, where every 25 years you have to renew the permit. And then if the permit isn't renewed, you've got another grave.
Possibility. Possibility. Liz?
We can't do that, Councillor Clay, with graves, because it would be we're not allowed to dig up remains. I think my experience of other burial grounds. I mean, I talk from experience from my mum's ashes. My mum's ashes were scattered at a crematorium, and there was a plaque, and we only had 10 years on that plaque, and we didn't know. They took it away. That didn't bother me, it deeply upset my sister, but I think the remains are there, and you know, we can't use that plot again because it would be exhumation, which, you know, we can't do. Councillor Berry, you were going to say something?
Yes, go on, Councillor Berry.
Right, you've got a health and safety risk when doing that, and also because like down in Wales, the Mumbles, where it's built on sand and it moves. The diocese won't let you do it because in 25 years' time, depends on the type of soil that the casket is in and the body, it doesn't fully decompose. So therefore you've got remains, and that's why it's a health and safety risk.
Thank you. Right, okay. For committee to consider, perhaps there are some options. We could go ahead with the recommended RPI of 3.2. We could actually do what we did last year, which was 3.7, or we could perhaps set our own. Councillor Stallard.
I propose we put up 5%.
All of them.
All of them.
I think that we should.
Councillor Ranger.
I definitely think we should put some of them up. I think we should encourage more cremation than burial. So I think if you're going to put them up, then I think the increase should be in line with suggesting that we are sponsoring, whatever word you want to use, for cremations versus burials. So therefore, if you want to put 5% on burial, then okay, but if you want to put a lesser on cremation, I would be in favour of that.
Okay, so I'm going to put my own proposal in, and I propose that we go with what we did last year and do the same this year, which is 3.7%. That we carry it over to the same as what we did last year was 3.7, and I propose that rather than 3.2 this year, dropping it, we keep it as it was last year, the same this year, 3.7. That would be my proposal. So now we have two proposals.
I'll say yours.
Councillor Berry seconded my proposal of 3.7%. May I have a show of hands all in favour of 3.7? That was 3. All against or objection? Okay. And all that abstain? Oh, there was none. Okay. We have one existing proposal, so we now go for Councillor Betch with your hand up.
So I think I'm happy with 5%, but I want to give the cremation the exception. So I think I would propose 5% across the board with the exception of cremation.
No increase at all?
So no increase on cremation, 5% on everything else.
I would second that.
Okay. Okay, so that's been seconded. Can I have a show of hands all in favour of a 5% increase for burial and a 0 increase for cremation? So, yeah.
Does that include memorials as well, the 5% increase? Is it just cremations that we're...
Councillor Betch, can you just clarify?
As in cremation plaques?
On the back, yes, all the fees on the back.
Plaques would go up.
No, I think it's just the plots. So all
Okay.
the ones underneath the lump, cremation plots.
So 5% on everything apart from cremation plots.
Yes, yeah. Plaques aren't in,
No,
that's not where we want to push it in.
No, yeah, not on the plaques. No. So it's just burials. Okay,
So just burials.
just burials.
Okay.
So the 5% only applies for those burials. So it's been seconded. Can I have a show of hands all in favour? That's unanimous then. Yep, fine. Thank you very much.
Can I just clarify,
Yes.
Councillor Clear, so no other increases, just 5% on burials?
Just 5% on burials, so no increase to cremation and no increase to bats. Just burials, 5%.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Item 19.6 is the replacement of the pathway service in Northfield at the burial ground. A revised quotation has been received from our contractor. It is hoped that work on the pathway will commence on the 7th of April. To note. Thank you, Liz. And then item 20 is social media, to discuss and determine action on what content could be added to the parish council social media channels. I think we've got quite a list, haven't we? So, yeah, so we will put on there the Forest Road speeding measures, and that will be going back to Hampshire Highways. We can also put the community speed watch on as well. Thank you, Liz.
Strongly worded letter.
Yeah, the working party for the roundabout and planters, I think we need to go back out because as we're getting little response, we need to increase that. The same again for the sustainable travel support, which is item 17.
The bus shelter.
Perhaps once it's in place. Perhaps once it's in place. Yeah. The same for the letters to heaven. I think once that's in place, we can agree for it to go on social media. Once the plaque has arrived, we do some photos, etc. for that.
The Bridget Rivers End.
Once it's in place, perhaps by yeah. So that we'll leave that off for now. Any other items or?
Put the strongly worded letter.
Yeah, but I put on there for Forest Road, Hambledon Road.
Because I think people will
But,
appreciate the fact that the parish council
Yeah,
are.
we will just say that we've responded,
Yeah.
rather than.
Yeah.
That's fine. Anything else?
Matters for next agenda.
Yeah, so there's nothing else for social media. So matters for the next agenda, item 21. To receive any matters for the next agenda from councillors.
Awkward.
None from me.
Are we putting record on?
I would say at the moment, yes.
Yes, okay, let's put Rookwood on again, please. Let's bring that back. No other items?
Should we think about anything for traffic management around Overlord, if there is anything within our control?
Good question.
That would be in our letter. That's in our letter anyway for highways, so that we leave that for them, we can bring it back.
But can I just say about the letters to overlords as well?
The organisers.
You know, because this is the first time that, you know, they're going to run their event with those.
Yeah, they won't know it's there.
They won't know it's there, and they also have
Okay.
duty of care to the
Right,
roads.
okay, so as the items now go on and pass, we did agree that we would contact highways on the matter of Overlord, but as a courtesy, I will allow a letter to go to Overlord. All right?
They also have,
That's fine.
they have responsibility for our roads.
That's fine. Okay, done. Right.